And it was a video that says, boom. And in that, she talks about how God took away Lucifer's power. So Lucifer had my husband tied. He wasn't letting go. He kept sending that woman to tempt him, to keep him bound in the world. And the funny thing is that when you have experienced the pureness of God in your life, nothing, and I mean nothing, compares. Oh my goodness, Father. So there's Sinead O'Connor is one of my 80s, 90s singer that I used to listen to. And God just dropped the line, nothing compares to you. In the song, she's crying because the man that she loves left her. And so she's basically in her feelings about being left behind and, you know, trying to figure out how to live her life without him. And so that's my spouse. He was trying to figure out how to live life without God. And you can't. When you're a child of God, you're a child of God. And you're going to come back one day. And for him, it was yesterday. And so he kept popping up this song in Spanish from a band that's name means without a flag. Sin bandera, without a flag. And the song that kept coming up is Ahora Sé. In that song, it's from the male perspective. But I used to sing this song at work. And the last time I sang it, God told me that he is going to feel like this song. And I was just like, huh? And he goes, yeah, he's going to feel like this song when you're gone. Like when I'm gone. But because God was preparing my heart. And this is the week before. Not the week before. This was like on Tuesday or Wednesday. So on the other side of where I'm putting together these salads is my husband. And he's acting like he's not listening, like he's not paying attention to me. But whenever I'm at that table, he was always at the sink. And so God goes, okay, step to the side so you can really let him hear the song. I was like, okay. So in the song, it talks about now I know. That's ahora sé is now I know. Now I know that money isn't the value. The value is time. Spending time with you. Being with you. Cherishing you. Loving you. Now I know. And God is saying, in that moment, he is going to feel this song. He is going to be the embodiment of this song. And I was like, is that why you keep playing it? Because I didn't understand it. Like every time he was in the vicinity, that's the song that would come up on my playlist. Not because I let God be my DJ. So he literally will bring, and every song was almost the same sentiment about precious time and me being precious time. And I was like, okay. And so then God led me to actually look up what the number 47 means in the Hebrew. And it means mighty and strong and powerful. And then in the Greek, it means purity and chastity. And there was Tree of Life. Was it Tree of Life? One of the prophets that I listened to had posted a video about a couple who waited until they got married to be together physically, like intimately. And so this is confirmation about the way things are going to happen for me, because he can't wait anymore. And he's like, no, no. So he's making a deal with God and saying, can we fast forward? Because I can't wait for a wedding. I can't wait for a big to do family, friends, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I can't wait for that. We need to do this now. Like because God said it was Paul said in, oh my goodness, where is that verse? I don't know the chapter, I don't know which book it's in, but Paul says, if a man cannot abstain from his sister, if a brother and a sister, if a brother and a sister cannot abstain from being intimate, then he must make her his wife. I'm paraphrasing, it's not the exact verse. But he says, then you gotta get married. You cannot sin, because then, you're outside of God's will. But I'm like, God, but there was no ceremony in the beginning. Like, I'm not sure I understand like this whole thing. And he goes, it doesn't have to look like the world wants it to look. You can still be married the way the world wants you to be married, but your heart is committed to your husband. I'm like, okay. And he has this thing that he wants to do, and I'm like, that's fine. But God is telling me, but you are going to get your wedding. And I'm like, do I have to? I had all these dreams, and then now it's like, I have to get dressed up. I have to stand in front of people. Can we not? God's like, child of mine. Sweet child of mine. And he goes, you're going to do it. I'm like, okay. Because it's important that we both have what we desire in our lives. And he doesn't want me to discount my dreams just because my husband has dreams. We can have both. Okay. So then God brought me to the number 14, which he's been showing me, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. And it's important. That's the Hebrew translation. It's important. But it also means in the Greek to be willing, to consent, to yield, and to do good. So I have to be willing to consent to the way that my husband is going to lead me, to the request that my husband is going to have, because it's important to him. It's important to me because it's important to him. So I am not going to look at this and go, no, I don't want that, because this isn't about you. This is about me, and you have to glorify me. No, this is about both of us. This is about both of us having a dream, having a vision for what we want. And if I'm not willing to make his dreams come true, then how can I expect him to make my dreams come true? This isn't a one-sided relationship. This is two people coming together individually, choosing each other because they're willing to accept each other's dreams, passions, ideas, thoughts, whatever. And encouraging each other to go after the dreams, the passions that we have. He wants to be a delivery driver. Okay. I don't mind. Be a delivery driver. But you better be the best daggone delivery driver you can be. I hope and pray that you deliver every single one of those pizza orders with a smile, with God's love, and you take ownership of your work. You know? Because a server who's not serving with gladness is not doing their job. So, then God brought me Iskiros. And the number is 2478. Now is like, oh, Jesus. Thank you. More confirmation. Just more confirmation for me. You guys won't understand it, but it's okay. Because this means something to me. But God is showing you, through me, how He is going to show you and confirm to you, so that you don't discard the things that He's showing you, that He's giving you as confirmations, as signs, as wonders. Because Lucifer will try to tell you, this is not how God would do it. This is not how God would work. This is not, nope, nope, nope. And you have to understand that God is going to show you things the way your relationship with Him is. Because I know my walk, because I know the purpose of my being here on this earth is to go after the one. And I had a conversation. I don't know I was going to go here. I had a conversation last night with the owner of this property. Because God has been putting it in his heart to do something. But he's been dragging his feet to get it done. And I told him, you're running out of time. God put something in your heart and you need to do it. And if you don't do it, so he had an episode a few months ago. He had a heart attack. He thought he was going to die. But God said that was a warning. And I said, so, and God gave me some really strong words for him last night. And he tried to show me his faith by the number of idols that he had in his home. I'm not here to tell people, oh, you're idolizing those. That's God's job, not mine. I am here to give you a word. And I said, I am very blessed that you're opening up yourself like this to me. And I said, but there is only one who really needs to hear from you. And that's God. And I said, I can see your dedication. And I said, but God should be your first and only. And I said, and he's giving you instruction. And you're in disobedience right now. And I then dropped this on his lap. I said, I am not going to be here much longer. And he goes, wait, what? No, you can't leave. You have to stay. And I'm like, no. My work here is almost done. My time here is almost up. And I said, and when I leave, you need to be in a place where you're in obedience and you're being led by God. And he just looked at me and he goes, I know. He's been showing me that I need to do this. And I said, look at it this way. It's your soul or their soul. And he just stood back. I said, that's right. Are you going to give up your soul and be in disobedience to what God is leading you to do? Or are you going to allow their soul to survive because you don't want to be a bad person? You don't want to be perceived in a bad light. Sometimes we have to do the hard thing. Sometimes we have to speak the wrong thing because it is the right thing in God's eyes. And this isn't the first time I've had this conversation with this man. This is the third time. And there will be no more times. I will not be speaking to him again about this. So if he chooses to be in disobedience, then he will reap what he has sown. And I leave it to God. May God have mercy on his soul. But what he will do is he will raise another. Because God is using this property like a sanctuary for his children. But God cannot bring his children here in the filth, in the witchcraft, in the, he sends me because I'm willing to go. I'm like, I'll live in these conditions because I know that this is where you want me to be. Because I know that I have the strength, I have the power within me that you have put here in my body. The strength of your spirit inside of me allows me to walk into these mucky places, to share the word that you have for these individuals, and not be touched by the things that are around me. And then, so as I'm doing all this, God had me write 12:12 because that was the time on the clock. And last minute surprises. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you going to surprise me with? Like, I'm being obedient. I'm going into the places where most of his prophets are like, don't be listening to that. Don't be doing that. Don't do this. Don't go here. Don't go there. And God is going, go here, go there, do that, do this. And I'm like, okay. That's why I went through the things that I went through with the people that I went through it with. Because God was saying, you are going to have the strength to walk into these places and not be touched by the evil around you. Because my spirit is going to be so strong inside of you that you will not question when you hear my voice. And I was just like, okay. So I don't question. Okay, so he's leading me in a new way. I never before had to give songs. Now all of a sudden he's bringing songs and he's like, okay, share this song, share that song, share that. They're confirmation for me on how my spouse feels about me. And a lot of this is country music, because we both like country music. We both like a lot of the same songs. We like a lot of the same artists. And so, but we also like our 80s music, because he was born in the 80s. Yes, he's younger than I am. But it's okay. It's okay. I receive. Because God needs a younger energy to give me the strength to push me forward. Okay? So the first song he brought to me was Like the Rain. He never liked the rain before. He thought it was dreary and miserable and just yucky. I love the rain. So, Like the Rain from Clint Black is about him recognizing the beauty in the rain. The beauty of being rained on by God. By being loved by God. He's like, I used to be afraid of this. I used to not like this. Like, I wanted to stay as far away as possible because I thought I was going to have to give up everything the things that I love. I was like, no, you just have to bring God with you. And I do. Everything that I'm like, hey God, what are we going to do today? And he'll be like, put on your music. Let's dance. And I'm like, you want me to look silly? Okay, let's do this. And now he's picturing, because he remembers my personality. Okay, now looking back, he's like, oh, I remember when she used to dance around. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's... And now he's picturing me in our home doing exactly the same thing while I'm washing dishes, dancing around, listening to my music, singing at the top of my lungs, and he's gonna love it. He loves it already. But he's like, now the show is gonna be for me alone. No one else is gonna see this side of her. No one else is going to be able to witness the beauty of her being herself in our home. But even then, even when I was doing these things in public, it was only around him. And he got to see me be me. So then the song that God brought to me was like, huh? So the song is For Tonight by Nancy Martinez. It's an 80s song. And she's talking about, so these two people, they let each other go. But she's like, how about for one night, we love each other. For one night, we be the ones we want to be with each other. And I'm like, huh? And that's how God confirmed to me that this woman that he was with kept cycling back and keeping him in that loop. But God finally broke it off and said, no, you're not to be with her anymore. And so this is all yesterday. This is all things that he showed me yesterday. I just started with today. Just so you know, I'm not done yet. I know I've been doing videos like since I left work, since God had me leave work. I've been doing videos back to back to back to back. Oh, my battery's almost dead. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Oops. Wrong ear. Okay. So this was all the songs that he was bringing to me yesterday. And then there's a song, I Just Wanted You to Know, by Mark Chestnut. And in this song, he's talking about the way he feels. And he's like, I don't want to change your mind. I don't want you to have to choose me, but I just want you to know how I feel. I want you to know that I'm in love with you. And then I was watching this new woman that God brought into my view, who she's, oh my gosh. A text came through, but it's not. I'm waiting. I'm anxiously waiting. In a good way, not in a bad way. So she had a couple of songs, and God had me go listen to them. And God is saying, what you're thinking, you guys aren't going to have time. It's going to be back connected, and it's done. I'm like, and he goes, what do you think this year and a half of him and you being together was all about? And I was like, okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah. You know? So, God brought 2 songs to her. And one of them was Will You Marry Me by Jason Derulo, and My Head by the same man. In the song My Head, he wants to take the memory of her out of his head and bring it to life. So he is on his knees asking God, let me, no, please, I know I'm here. I got you. I'm not leaving you. But she's mine. I want to be with her. Can I please be with her? He's not saying that, because God puts it in our hearts. And I'm telling you, I feel it the same way he feels it. That's what I'm saying. I'm keeping God at the front. God is my first. But the desire to be with this man, I can't run away from it. I choose not to run away from it. I'm not scared of it because I know that God put it there. God put that desire in me because he created man and woman. He created us to be together, to support each other, to lift each other up in a moment of weakness, to stand together in strength. So if God is putting the desire inside my heart, why would I run away from it? Why would I decide that, oh, this can't be from God, it's my flesh? Trust me, my flesh is put down. I would not be here if my flesh was still active and doing its own thing. If my ego was still, I would not be sharing my life the way I'm sharing it because I'd be prideful. I'd be like, oh no, they don't need to see this. They don't need to see that. They can see the finished product. No. God's beauty is in the work. And as long as you let him shine, the work that he is doing will have a different light, will have a different aura, will have a different whatever you want to call it. Okay? It will have a different taste. I'm not scared of saying the words, using words that are specifically for one area of this or one area of that. Because God isn't trying to reach one specific or one group or another group. God isn't about clicks. He's not about what looks good on paper, what looks proper. God is about his children. And he will send me wherever that child is that needs to come home. So who am I to say, oh, I can't say those words, Father? No, I got to use them exactly how God puts them. And everything else falls by the wayside. Okay, so so he's had me in Genesis, okay? Like that's where I've been, because I'm not struggling, but I'm asking for clarification. I'm asking God for his level of understanding. And this is what I wrote down yesterday. I said, none of us know how God wanted to bring Adam and Eve's union together because Lucifer interfered. We do not know what his plan was for presenting Adam and Eve to the world, to creation. He spoke a thing and he said, this is man and wife now. We have ideas. We've put our own hand on it, on what it should look like, on what it should be like. Out of our own ego, out of our own hand. We want to be presented in the world like, ooh, this is husband and wife. That's not how God did it. in the beginning. He just said, "Hey, Adam, who's that?" He's like, "That's woman. She came from me. Bone of my bone. Flesh of my flesh. I know her." He's like, "Okay." And because he knew her, he understood who she was in God. He left God to go be with her. And God gave him instruction about the woman. So he gave instruction about the woman. Believe it or not. Do you want to know how he gave him instruction? Because God told him to take care of the garden. He was supposed to take care of the woman. The woman was made in the garden. God created everything God created. He told Adam to take care for it. He didn't say, "Oh, you're not responsible for the decisions the woman makes." He told him, "This is your domain. Your domain is what I've created." And I'm looking for where it's a. So he gave them dominion over everything that he created. So the man was supposed to be the caretaker of the woman. Because remember, he's the head. God is up here. Okay? God is dictating to Adam what his job is. Which is why Adam was punished. Because he did not do as God told him, which was take care of the woman.